Hey, pull up a chair, grab your favorite drink, because we're about to unpack something that's been simmering in the BL world like a pot that finally boiled over. I'm not here to give you the polished, bullet point recap you'll find in every other think piece. Nah, this is the late night messy. I've been knee-deep in Thai BL forums at 3 a.m, version of what went down with Peach Lover and why the phrase, when BL gets too explicit, suddenly feels like the title of a whole cultural moment. Picture this, it's early 2026. You're doom scrolling on X or TikTok and bam, there's this clip. Two guys, sweat-slicked skin catching the low light, hands that don't know where to stop, breath sinking in a way that feels illegally intimate. The caption, something like Peach Lover Ep1 NC Scene Part 2. Comments exploding, I'm deceased, this is why I pay for IQIYIPOV. Your Poe and Sassam just ruined fruit for you forever. The series hadn't even dropped its third episode yet, and the internet had already turned it into the spiciest thirst trap of the year. That's Peach Lover in a nutshell, or should I say, in a very ripe, very bitten peach. For those who somehow missed the hype train, bless your peaceful timeline. Here's the quick setup without spoiling the emotional gut punches that actually make the show work. Peach Lover follows Poe, a wide-eyed cover artist and die-hard fan of an ultra-exclusive 18+ online persona called Peach Lover. That persona, Sassam, charismatic, mysterious and back after a year-long ghosting of his own sensual empire. Their worlds collide in the most deliciously chaotic way. Fan meets creator, obsession meets reality, and suddenly the lines between performance, desire and genuine connection blur harder than a steamed-up shower door. The premise was never subtle. The trailers promised raw, unfiltered heat, and boy, did the first few episodes deliver. We're talking NC scenes that don't fade to black, they lean in, linger, and make you feel like you accidentally walked into someone's very private OnlyFans session. Actors Niwat Naknuan, Kai, and Poom Nuttapart Tuntistinchai, Poom, threw themselves into it with a commitment that had fans screaming in group chats worldwide. It wasn't just kissing with the lights off. It was choreography of want, vulnerability, and a whole lot of is this still acting or are we witnessing something real? And that's exactly where the trouble started brewing. See, Thai BL has been inching toward this territory for years. We went from soft hand-holding in university uniforms to full-on bedroom marathons that made international fans whisper, "Okay, Thailand said no notes." Series like certain Demundi productions or those Wilder IQIYI originals had already tested the waters, but Peach Lover didn't test them, it cannonballed straight in. The marketing leaned hard into the 18+ label. The novel it's based on had that reputation. The cast interviews danced around it with cheeky smiles. We wanted to show desire without filters. Fans ate it up, paid subscriptions spiked, clips went mega viral. For a hot minute it felt like the genre had finally grown up and owned its sensuality. Queer desire on screen, not coded, not implied, shown. Celebrated even, then the internet did what the internet always does when you hand it unfiltered spice. It weaponized it. Overnight those carefully crafted NC scenes started popping up everywhere, isolated, looped, slowed down, soundtracked to trending audio. TikToks of just the moans. Twitter threads ranking the top 5 peach moments that broke my brain, Reddit megathreads dissecting lighting angles and other angles. Fans weren't watching the full episodes anymore, they were mainlining the heat like it was a standalone product. And the production team, they watched their deliberate emotional rhythm get chopped into pure porn-adjacent content. The story wasn't about two men falling in messy, complicated love anymore. It was about the peach. Full stop, cue the statement. It dropped quietly at first. Instagram, official channels, that classic polite but firm Thai industry tone. The team under copy A Bangkok and IQIYI asked fans nicely to stop extracting and reposting the intimate clips out of context. They reminded everyone that Peach Lover was built with an emotional arc in mind. Those scenes weren't random fan service. They were supposed to track Sassam's journey from hidden performer to someone letting himself be seen, and Poe's shift from fantasy to flesh and blood connection. Sharing them solo, they said, misrepresents the story and the characters' journeys. Respect the full narrative. Watch it the way it was meant to be experienced. Thank you for the support, please keep it that way, polite, professional, reasonable. The internet's response, nuclear. Some fans clapped. Finally, someone protecting the actors from being reduced to bodies. Others raged, you marketed it as the spiciest thing since sliced bread and now you're mad we're eating the bread. The real twist came a few days later. Episodes started getting quietly re-uploaded with edits. NC scenes shortened, certain shots cropped, packing tweaked. The Reddit thread that blew up said it plain. Because people have zero chill, Peach Lover has edited their NC scenes. And just like that, the Backlash had a new target. Was this censorship, damage control, or a quiet admission that even in 2026, the BL machine wasn't ready for what happens when explicit content escapes the paywall? Let me tell you why this moment feels bigger than one series. I've been watching this genre evolve since the early days when a single forehead kiss felt revolutionary. Back then, the pushback came from conservative networks or international distributors demanding cuts. Now, the pushback is coming from inside the house, from the very fans who demanded more spice in the first place. It's a fascinating paradox. We cheer when BL pushes boundaries because it normalizes queer intimacy in a world that still side-eyes it. But the second that intimacy goes viral without its emotional scaffolding, it turns into something that can harm the actors, the story, and even the genre's credibility. Think about the actors for a second. Poom and Niwot aren't faceless performers in a vacuum. They're real guys with families, future projects, and social media inboxes that don't sleep. When a 45-second clip of them in the most vulnerable positions imaginable gets 2 million views detached from the tenderness that came before and after, it stops being art. It becomes fuel for the worst parts of fandom harassment, objectification, the kind of shipping that forgets these are human beings who signed up for a role, not an OnlyFans career. I've seen it before with other boundary-pushing series, but Peach Lover took it to another level because the premise itself is about the dangers of online personas and public desire. The show is literally about the cost of being watched. Irony much. Here's a unique angle I haven't seen anyone fully chew on yet. This isn't just about too much spice. It's about how streaming and social media have completely rewired the economics of desire. In the old days, if you wanted the full experience, you bought the DVD or tuned in weekly and lived with the slow burn. Now, algorithms reward the clip. The 15-second money shot gets the views, the subs, the brand deals. Producers know this, they lean into it during marketing. Then when fans treat the show like a buffet where they only want the dessert, the team panics and starts editing retroactively. It's like baking an intricate layered cake, serving it proudly, and then watching customers scrape off the frosting and complain the cake is gone. The cake was never just frosting, but good luck explaining that to someone whose dopamine is wired for instant gratification. I've got a friend who's a mid-level BL script supervisor, names withheld because industry is small and tea is hot. She told me off record that Peach Lover's team actually debated the NC scenes for months. They wanted them raw because the story demanded it. Sasam's arc is about reclaiming his body as something more than content, but they also knew the clip culture risk. One director allegedly joked, "We're making art, but the internet will make it porn." Turns out the joke was prophecy, and now other productions are watching closely. Will the next ambitious Thai BL dial it back? Or will they double down and build better protections, maybe geolocked uncut versions, or watermarks that shame clippers, or even pre-release fan contracts? Kidding, mostly. Let's zoom out for a breath. This backlash isn't happening in a vacuum. Look at the broader BL landscape right now. We've got series that treat intimacy like a character in its own right, not just a reward for the plot. That's progress. But we've also got audiences split into two camps. The give me the plot or I drop it, purists who call anything above a kiss cringe NC, and the I came for the heat, don't blue ball me, crowd who feel entitled to every frame. Peach Lover forced that divide into the open. One side says the edits prove the industry still doesn't trust its audience to handle mature queer stories without reducing them to bodies. The other side says fans proved the industry right by treating sacred vulnerability like free content. My take: both sides are right and both are missing the point. The real conversation we should be having, as fans, creators, actors, and industry folks, is about consent at every level. Consent from the actors to perform it. Consent from the audience to experience it in full context. Consent from the story to not be dissected into its sexiest parts. Because when BL gets too explicit without guardrails, it doesn't liberate desire, it commodifies it. And queer stories have been commodified enough already. I'll leave you with a little story that stuck with me. A fan I follow on Instagram, let's call her B, posted a thread the day after the edits dropped. She'd been one of the first to clip a scene, guilty pleasure, she admitted. Then she watched the full re-edited episode and felt hollow. Not because the heat was gone, but because she realized she'd missed the way Sasam's hand trembled, not from lust, but from the terror of being truly known. The clip couldn't hold that. The full scene could. B deleted her own TikTok, posted instead, "I came for the peach, I'm staying for the lover." That right there is the quiet win hidden inside all this drama. So what now for the BL industry? Producers, if you're reading this, Keep pushing boundaries but build the fences before you release the tigers. Fans watch the whole damn thing. Let the story breathe. And actors, we see you. The ones who show up raw and real deserve more than being clipped into oblivion. Peach Lover didn't fail because it got too explicit. It sparked a reckoning because it got explicit and vulnerable in a world that still doesn't know what to do with either. The backlash isn't the end of spicy BL. It might just be the messy, necessary growing pain that forces us all to treat it with the respect it deserves. Now, if you'll excuse me, I'm going to rewatch episode 1 the way it was meant to be seen, full context. No clips, lights low, and maybe a peach on the side for old time's sake. What about you? Drop your thoughts below. Did the edits ruin it for you, or did they save the soul of the story? Let's keep the conversation going respectfully, of course, because Zero Chill already had its moment. Time for a little more heart.